Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast. Today, we are on episode 130, and I am your host, Sam Fonseca. Thank you, everyone, for coming back. And to my right, we have got Chris. How you doing, man?
I am doing good. As Sam was just saying before we got on the pod, we had honestly an action-packed week since we last potted a week ago. So a lot of stuff to get through. So yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, and if you want to follow Chris on Twitter, is there. Mine is here. And without further ado, we get straight on to the Twitter questions. Let me just get that up. Cool. We'll start off with Nuno's question. Big fan. Thank you, Nuno, for watching the pod. We do appreciate it. Regarding the Stromp Kit, sad to say this is the first year of Nike has seriously disappointed most of us, with the exception of the third kit. They're all very lame, he puts in quotations, but since they have the symbol on them, we'll still buy because we love sporting. I'm not sure if you guys were talking about it last week, so I can't really remember when it was released, but Chris, we've been critiques definitely of Nike this season. What were your thoughts on the Stromp Kit that was released?
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what was expected. The Maccabi Tel Aviv kit, the Maccabi Tel Aviv home kit, I believe. So we've kind of, I guess, in a way, known that this was going to be the Stromp Kit since like August. We just never knew if we were actually going to get it or not. We just knew that if they were going to make one, it was going to be this. So yeah, I mean, it's all right. It is what it is. It's the problems for me. The back obviously is just kind of ugly. But I'll be honest, in game, when it had the sponsor, the name, and the number on it, covering up a lot of it, didn't look as bad than if you have a blank kit. So honestly, if you're going to get it, maybe you get a name on it, get your own name. It's unfortunately not going to have a super back on it for once. I feel like you would want the sponsor just to cover more space up and make it look less weird. But yeah, I think a name and number wouldn't be bad for that kit. On the front, obviously, it's kind of whack that the line kind of doesn't line up with the middle of the collar. It lines up with like where one of the sides ends, and then they put the escudo like right centered on that. And since we know that that's not the center of the kit, you know that the escudo is not centered. Technically, the escudo should be more off center. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. But the second part, when Nuno said it's still a sporting kit, at the end of the day, I've seen a lot worse kits, right? So
yeah. I'm gonna have like a sort of controversial, but I actually really like it. It's not the best Stromp kit they've ever done, but I think the back especially is sort of. I know we've got the other team has exactly the same like design, but it's sort of original to like the Portuguese football.
One more thing I'll add: Maccabi Tel Aviv. Every time I've seen them, they've been wearing green shorts. This kit can be worn with green shorts. I thought it looked good with black. Really, like I thought black like made it like took it to another level in my eyes. Like, and if it was green, I think this kit would have been more meh. What do you think? You there? I think you might be frozen.
Am I back? Sorry, I think my internet went for a few.
Yeah, you're back now.
Cool. So, yeah, the kit I think looks better in game than it did when it came out. The collar is still a bugbear and like it's stupid, but I'm actually not against it. We won't be wearing it that much anyway because it's a Stromp kit. It's not one that we use regularly. But I think I've not bought a sporting kit yet just because I'm literally just waiting for Lojaverde to put the badges on, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I might have to sort of like third party source it. But
alternate plan time, yeah.
Yeah, I might just wait till Christmas as well, just because it will be probably cheaper than if I get someone to buy it for me instead. So, but yeah, I think this is one I'll definitely be copying. I think the one I'm gonna get, if I were to get two, I'd get the third and the Stromp. I think they're the two nicest out of the. I'm not sure about like the Illuminous yellow that makes you look like Borussia Dortmund. I'm still not sold on that one, to be honest.
That one kind of has grown on me, to be honest. I kind of like that one now.
I can just never tell if it's bright yellow or is it bright green, because in some pictures it looks like bright green.
It's more yellow. I'll say it's like more yellowish. It's more like electric yellow than electric green.
Yeah, Richard just pretty much the same thing. It's about the stripe of the Stromp. That's the only issue I have with the kit. But it's I think once you see it more, you're going to get used to it.
I mean, it's like the collar on the Macron kit is identical. If you can see, like it'd be like if they just drew the line there, like you would just draw it through the center, even if the collar crosses over. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I mean, but at the same time, the back collar of the home kit and the third kit, like it's just the Nike template. The back is kind of crazy, but it's less noticeable. You don't think about it as much because it's on the back as opposed to right in the front center, I think.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Nuno asks again, any particular reason that why VAR isn't used in the group stage of the Taça da Liga? It was a straight robbery last night, which is obviously referring to the Famalicão game. Chris, I don't know if you have got any thoughts on it, or why, or is it just something that?
Well, Creator here says that it's because some of the stadiums aren't equipped for it. What I would say to that's incredible to me is that the Taça da Liga is only the first and the second division clubs. Those are both leagues that are fully VAR.
Yeah,
I do not understand what stadium they're using in the Taça da Liga that is not able to be used with VAR. There's no Campeonato Portugal teams in this competition. There's no fucking sixth division teams. It's only divisions 1 and 2. So yeah, that explanation that's not good enough for me. And it's fucking, we saw it in all the games, controversy. Like, this is going to be a shit house, right? We're going to have to shit house some PKs again. So let's get it.
Well, if we do make the final four, we know Porto's definitely not going to be there. Benfica is pretty.
They're in trouble. They're in big trouble, but they'll watch them make it. They have to win by 3 and score at least 2 or something.
Yeah, I think that's right. But it's against, is it Covilhã they're playing?
They have to win by 2 and score at least 3. Sorry, I said that backwards. Against Covilhã, which is a second division team. So they're not out.
Creator says, shout out to Sam for making all the Portuguese cry on Twitter after they got knocked out for the cup. Everyone was saying we would struggle this season, Europa League games, lack of depth, but so far we haven't been hungover while our rivers choke. Can we keep it going? I will say that Porto tweet is identical from the one I did last year, and for some reason the one I did this week got many messages of hate, which I don't understand why people couldn't see it was a joke. Like, it just so clearly.
Dude, it's like, obviously the Taça da Liga hasn't existed for 128 years, dude. Like, obviously.
Yeah, but it was funny. A lot of people did see the funny side of it, including Porto and Benfica fans, but some of them are just, I don't know, just
triggered.
But let's see. So do you think we can keep the run going in terms of lack of depth? We've not really had a major injury. Pot was out for a bit, but seems to be cracking on now. We've not really had like one that's going to be out for a while. Do you think we're sort of due our injury and our sort of downfall, or do you think we can just keep it going?
I feel like Porto's escaped injury like 4 times somehow. So I hope he stays healthy. But I mean, he got hurt a little bit last year too. So he just feels like a player that's constantly. I feel like it's kind of also because he's just playing so hard all the time. But yeah, he's always one that I worry about at least.
Yeah, the game against the Real Belenenses, I thought he was out. He was going to be out for months. The landing of the tackle, which the Belenenses player said, he apologized and said he didn't mean it, which is fair enough. It happens in football. But I thought Porro was going to be out for a while. We still got some old boys in there who, obviously, the older you get, the more injuries going to get. Fadal is probably due one. Neto as well. Remember, they're on the. I think they're both like 33 onwards. We
really don't want to lose a center back as far as like the squad depth,
Yeah, we don't lose a centre back, and I think a striker as well, because then we're either just stuck with Paulinho or we're just stuck with Tete. And if you want to include Giovanni in that, fair enough. But I think if one of those goes down, we're already sort of bare bone at striker as we are. Getting an injury is going to make it.
I mean, Tete is kind of injured a little bit. It seems like.
Yeah, it was a game time decision, I think, and then he
was still absent from training today. So They're saying he's questionable.
Tabata is back though. I don't know if he can fit into sort of like a false nine or something like Jovan has. I know he's not as quick as Jovan is, but
there's an article yesterday or today that says Sarabia is emerging as the second choice striker. So honestly, if Paulinho keeps doing or not scoring in the league, you're gonna one of these games Sarabia is gonna start up top. Watch.
Yeah, I think it's about
because it can't carry on forever. Like I understand he wants to keep playing him to try to just help him work through it, but at the end of the day, like you have to pull the plug at a certain point.
Yeah, definitely. John Senior asks Chris, when you getting rid of the red chair?
Never.
Or are you gonna like spray paint it green? Or
I've actually tried to replace it with a black chair that I got. And then I didn't sit in it. I just like got it and I like set it down, tried it out, and I was like, this sucks. And I ended up not even going with it and just keeping the red one. So yeah, if an alternative ever crosses my path, I'll look to replace it because I know obviously it's red. That's slightly problematic, but it's just maximum comfort, man.
Bruno de Carvalho would be fuming with you.
Dude, so many Sporting players are red cleats now. It's sad, man. I miss the old days when you had to return the car that you just bought and get a new color.
It was a Ferrari as well, wasn't it? Alan Ruiz had bought a Ferrari. That is funny. I miss those times. Let's go with the final tweet question we got here. And this is one I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on. Because Vinagre has definitely, since the Ajax game, definitely looked like a second option or even a third option with some of with Rezgaya playing on the left in some games. Do you think it's better to fit him in as sort of a comeback, or do you reckon Matheus Reis he has been pretty decent in the last few games? There's no knocking the guy, but what do you think is the best option at left back? If you were the manager right now, what would you do?
I mean, the problem with Vinagre is even as he improves, which he definitely has looked better. I thought he looked actually kind of good against Bollness, and then I thought he looked a little decent-ish again in the Taça Liga game. Why am I blanking? Famalicão. So yeah, I mean, maybe he is trending upward because after that Ajax game, there's really nowhere to trend. But he looked like he'd never played organized football before. Just getting like picked off from like just simple long balls multiple times. Yeah, so he definitely has looked better. I'll agree, and it's kind of been pleasant. But at the same time, it's like we don't want to activate that clause. I don't think. I mean, I think I'm ready to say that I don't think we should go anywhere near that. Unless something drastically changes, because he has to be a developing young prospect. And I haven't really seen him like play at the level that we need him to be if he's going to be like our left back of the future. 10 million, 50% of his pass. That's not what you want. And at the same time, if he plays a certain amount of games, he becomes permanent automatically. So like, I think we should use him as little as possible, and just like, really pace it and really make sure we're not like hitting the 25 or whatever, 20, 30, whatever the fuck it is, because that would be really bad, I feel like. So we have to just manage his appearances and minutes for sure.
Yeah, I think it's weird because last season we didn't have any sort of play. We had Paulinho and Tete and Sporar, but that was just like one position we had sort of like a form. We didn't really have like a Nuno Mendes or Porro or any of the midfielders. John Mario, we could say maybe, but he did his job.
Benfica fans are now turning on him, by the way.
They're turning on everyone. The last number of games has not been kind to them, especially the Bayern game, which I thought was like really out of like context. Which like losing to Bayern 4-0 is not something I would have been like, oh, we need to make some drastic changes because it's Bayern. Like, of course they're gonna beat you regardless. They beat us 100%.
Yeah. But name Pensu, or like I don't even think about getting blown out, was the like cover of Recorded like that morning for a quote from Jesus. So
yeah, exactly.
It did not age well.
Yeah, definitely not. But I'm looking now, and we've got a left back who's out of form, who was supposed to be the big replacement for Nuno Mendes. We've got Paulinho, who's pretty much still replacing Bastos because we have not really replaced him from 2-3 seasons ago. We've had some somewhat good strikers, but never really replaced him in terms of goal scoring. But there's quite a few players. I think Vidal can be included as being sort of out of form in some games. But for me, I think Matheus Reis has done okay, and we're not his biggest fans. But if you play well, then you shouldn't get dropped, in my opinion. The same with Bragança. I think he's been playing too well to drop. I don't think you should drop someone just for the sake of trying to get someone else in. I get the whole thing for like confidence, but if Thiago Tomas come on and score a hat-trick, or he played really well against the team, then no, I wouldn't say put Paulinho in just because he's the most expensive. You want to go with who's playing well, not sort of who you sort of want to play well. And I feel like Amorim's got, because to be fair to Vinagre, the winger for Ajax, Anthony, is really, really good. And like, but the way he got skinned sort of every single possession, every long ball was just, must have been like definitely a knock of confidence to him. So, but for me, I'd say maybe put in Matheus Reis there at the moment, or even put Vinagre.
Nuno Santos has definitely shown that he's not the perfect solution. He's definitely a somewhat defensive liability in the past couple games. Like, we were riding high at first because he played really fucking phenomenal. I think it was against Aruca. But I mean, he can't play like that every game, you know?
Yeah, and I think Nuno Santos probably with more game time will probably be a bit better as well. He'd slip my
True,
mind.
he's only ever played like 4 games there total, you know.
He could be our sort of Cohen Trav, or he was at Benfica, or he could be like Bernardo
Dude,
Silva.
we can just sign him, bro, right now. He's a free agent. He in shape.
I don't think he was in shape.
He would obliterate his hamstring within 15 minutes of playing.
People were still like saying to get him back this summer after that one good spell, which, to be fair, I think he should have been re-signed as well.
I know, we literally should have kept, like, he shouldn't be on the team now, but he literally should have been on the team for 2 years after he stopped being on it, you know?
I do think he probably would have gone like so far downhill after.
He would have definitely gotten injured a lot, and that's would have been the end. But we definitely could have got another good season out of him, I think.
Especially last year, I thought for real, especially when we played against him, he was like his annoying self. Like,
yeah, he tries so hard.
It works though. It works all the time. But let's move on from the Twitter questions. I believe we wanted to get into the AG. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've got.
I've got the. I can just. I think
I've got our one here. If that helps.
Do you have the tweet that we have? Okay, can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, is that the right one?
Yep. Just scroll up a little bit. Okay. Yep. So these are the results. So. Fernandez and his administration secured a big W at the AG last Saturday. You know, numbers approaching like 80-20, basically for in favor. So they got a big result, big boost. They did what they needed to do. A lot of old heads in there with 20 votes. They made sure they did what needed to be done because they really couldn't afford a loss here. So they got the job done. So I guess these are the mainline results are 5,594 to 1,368, about like 7,000 total people. And then there's like, 40,000 total votes if you see below. But there's 7,000 like actual people. Average votes for like the for was like 6.5, I think, and then the against was like 4.5. So yeah, I mean, it's expected, it's predictable. Kind of shocking this didn't happen at the first AG. They must have really poorly prepared and really underestimated the turnout and like how much support they had amongst the people that were turning out the first time. No margin for error here, and they got it done. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. A lot of wind out of the sails of the opposition, but at the same time, it's all going to depend, I think, on Sporting at the moment, right? So March or April, 6 months from now, 5 months from now, a lot can change fast at this club. So I think that we all just need to remain vigilant, keep track of things, and see what happens. I think that I'm going to transition now into the news that came out yesterday. So they normally send the final summer financial results or the final numbers, how it affected everything, commissions, everything, like It usually comes out in the summer. So it still hasn't been released yet. And for them to release it literally 24 hours after they finally just rammed their budget through, basically on the third try. This is now their third try to pass this shit. Not budget, I mean like financial results. So basically the third time trying to pass it, and then the day after to release it. It's insulting. They think you're stupid. I mean, this should have come out in fucking August. They waited 2 fucking months, and then they released it the day after they finally rammed their shit through. And what it's included in here is fucking hilarious as well. It means they're ashamed of this transfer. It means they're ashamed of this negotiation with Porto, and it's sad. And as a socio, I feel kind of insulted and feel like they think that we're stupid. With that, let's get into what this table showed us.
I'm trying my best to zoom in, by the way, but for some reason, it's just not wanting to play ball at the moment.
It's tough. So basically, what was previously reported, it would come out through a report that the Rodrigo Fernandez Marco Cruz swap with Porto was for $4 million. Turns out, as a result of the literal numbers inside of Sporting, it was actually for $11 million. So Sporting sold Rodrigo Fernandez for $11 million and purchased Marco Cruz from Porto for $11 billion. Marco Cruz is the 4th most expensive signing in Sporting history,
which is also very dodgy dealings if you look at it on paper. And I'm sure there's alerts going around at like the league, like you probably need to look at this, but
it's super sketchy. It's a deal literally meant to inflate the club's assets.
Yeah, I mean,
we've seen that number, the graphic. It's like assets is a number, debt is a number. You subtract one from the other. If you get a negative number, you're in financial, you're underwater. We're minus 40 million. And so when you think they did this transfer, are we actually minus 50? Is it worse? Are they just plugging holes to make it seem better on paper? That's what it seems like. So I think it's really, really sus here. We also know that Sarabia cost $2 million loan fee, which was the same loan fee as Jesse Rodriguez. GOAT. So that was never reported. They just said he was kind of included, which, I guess like when we're talking 40 million, 45 million, 7 million loan fee, what's another 2? But like, I don't know. Why wouldn't they just be honest, and talk about the dealings? They gave 7, we paid 2 plus the commissions. They're just never honest about this stuff. Another thing that's really dodgy, if you go down to the saídas definitivas, further down, all the people that left on the free transfers. That's a lot of fucking bodies that just Sporting just has so much dead weight, and like they basically just gave away all these players for free. Yeah. And a lot of them we saw Nuno Moreira, Vizela. Like these players have value, Like it's just sad to see that we're not able to like do anything with them. Diogo Souza, he's like, he's playing in the Turkish first division. It's like he couldn't get any value for that. Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me, and just feels like it's just money that's just lit on fire. It's hilarious to pay commissions on, deals that you're giving players away for free. So say, well, you're paying to get rid of this person. It's a meme,
The ones that really interest me, especially in like the leavers part, is Evaniel Fernandez, because there was so much talk around him like 4 or 5 years ago, finally making that step towards the first team, and he's been decent for Vizela so far. I wouldn't say he's set the world on fire, but for what he was, a free transfer for them, I think he's been great. And the 40% fee, I think, does make for future fee does make sense, because I feel like he's one that could follow sort of the same career path as like a Paulo Oliveira or Domingos Duarte, going into the Spanish league or going into another league and sort of proving their worth. One I wanted to get your opinion on is something that's got a lot of traction around the sporting world, and that is Luis Maximiano, who obviously went to Granada. People saying one of the worst sales in sporting history. What are your thoughts on it, and do you think it was a good sale? What do you think of the price? Or
you want to know my honest thought of it was when people were like looking at this report that came out and were like 4.5 million, what the fuck? The only thing that I could think of was they didn't lie about this one. Like, I knew 4.5 million. Like, this number was
Yeah.
known. So, like, as far as me being mad about that, I was just like, there's a lot of shit in here that they lied about, and that isn't even one of them. So it's really not even like top like 10 things that I'm mad about on this fucking piece of paper. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people retweet, you know, all his saves per game and shit. He's putting up great numbers in Spain. He's playing well, but at the end of the day, his team's getting fucking pelted. He's facing a lot of shots. They're in the relegation zone. I think his numbers are possibly being inflated, but at the end of the day, he's a good fucking keeper. But what is the market value for a backup keeper? I mean, if you would have asked me, you know, 2 months before we actually sold him, what we would actually get for him, I would have said probably less than that, to be honest. I would have said like 3. So hopefully his good play earns him that extra 500K bonus and we get 5 for him. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. I'm sad that he's gone, but I hope he doesn't get relegated because then he'll have to move again. But yeah.
I just want to piggyback off that and just say, people saying it's the worst deal in history. The guy never played a full season for us. He played like half a season and then was replaced by a Dan. And if you're saying that you think he should have stayed instead of a Dan, then I'm sorry, you're wrong. I believe everyone has a right to opinion, but that's the wrong one. But I think he deserved the opportunity, and I think it was good for both sides. You know, we got 4.5 million for a keeper who definitely does have potential, but wasn't getting into the first team anytime soon. And least for I'd say the next 2-3 years maybe. The one thing I wasn't too sure on was also João Virginia being the backup. I'm not sure how good he actually is. Like,
what did you think of him recently? I actually thought he wasn't that bad. Definitely sus. You remember when he came out against Bolnense with his chest? That's sus.
The one I was thinking. Yeah.
Also, the goal against Famalicão that was disallowed. He looks really bad on that play. If you go back and watch him, he does not come across good. He comes across timid, then he hesitates, and it goes past him. Then the guy scores. He looks bad on that. But at the same time, the offsides goal that they did score, he comes out well and makes a brave save. It just happens to go right to the Famalicão defender. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But what's his? We didn't pay a loan fee on him, though, right?
No, but there's also nothing of like a future fee from what I can see. But we know there definitely is.
It's like the same. It's like 5, basically. I think it was 5.
Yeah, which does annoy me because it's also like, so we sold a keeper who never plays for 5 million, but we're going to sign a keeper who never plays also, who played like a few games for Everton for the same money. It's like, that's the only sort of problem.
And then Adam plays 1 or 2 more years, and then this guy's the future. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, definitely not. There's another one that interested me as well, and that's Ugarte's, because there were so many sort of things about how much pass did we pay for him.
They just kind of have to say that on here, but we don't actually have 100% of his pass.
Yeah.
It's just like for the filing service, the CMVM, they have to say that, I think. But because I literally just saw an article yesterday that we're like thinking about buying the next like 30%, because we have like that option coming up in January, I think, to buy like 15% more or 30% more, whatever the fuck it was. And like Sporting's obviously thinking about activating it, because I think he's a good player, but expensive.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's worth that much. I mean, probably in the future, but I mean, it's another deal that's like you can't really judge it until it happens. Until like he starts to kick on. If he doesn't, then from the can't get that 50% of the sale. Let's move on to the other sort of part of it, and that was some more sort of loan fees and everything. Nothing really too important in here. We've got club legend Thiago Elori going. That's the wrong screen. 1 second. There we go. Thiago Elori going for a loan fee of barely nothing. Same with Camacho. Like, I mean, I'm obviously not expecting to get huge loan fees, but there's also like no like option to buy by the looks of it. It's just a loan.
We also don't know what percent of the salary is being taken on by us versus staying with them. I think for Battaglia, they're actually paying that salary, shockingly. I don't know about a lot of the other ones. Like Eduardo, I'm guessing the Saudis are probably paying that. Like Sporar, like, are we splitting? Are they covering? I wouldn't be shocked if Middlesbrough is covering it, to be honest. They got some bread.
Yeah. At least not like a big portion of it, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. But as far as like Eduardo Quaresma, even like, is Sporting paying his full salary? I don't fucking know, you know? And if they were, I'm not necessarily mad about that because it's worth it for the experience. But like, there's just so little transparency, you know?
Yeah. I was also just looking at, you mentioned Sporar. We did have some good news. I'm not sure if you've seen.
Yeah, dude. He's heating up, baby. Let's go.
Not only that, his dogs are now in England. As if you follow on Instagram, you'll see the dogs are over. I think he's got two of them, and ever since they've come over, I think he scored twice. So
and an assist, man. He's got three. He's got three. Road to 15. 12 to go, baby. Honestly, potentially on pace. Is he going to get 15? Oh, man, I hope he does. He needs like a game where he has a hat trick to just really get that number.
That's what I was gonna say. They can. There are games where it's like 6-7-0 and they don't happen often, but they need to find one in the championship. It's like, oh, that's happened.
He needs to just score a fucking a poker against like Bristol Rovers and just a 7-0 explosion, like 2 PKs, just boost those stats.
We could have had Balassi and Sporar link up at Middlesbrough if they signed Balassi.
I know they should have signed Balassi, bro. He's still unsigned, I think.
No, he's in Turkey. I think
he's signed?
They only won. I saw it. I follow him on Instagram. They only just won their first game of the season. And it's November. Nearly November. It's October. But he plays with. I'm not sure. I think he plays with.
He plays for K-Core Rizespor.
Yeah, I think he plays with like Loic Remy. He used to play for QPR back in the day in Newcastle and Chelsea. But that's all I recognise from his team. Pretty sure. I don't think there's anyone that you can see. Yeah,
God, they're in last. They have 4 points. They're only 5 points. They're only 5 points from safety, though. Like, they just gotta just go on a little run and they'll be good.
I want to know if he's actually being paid like a lot for like because they have a habit of giving players like that.
I bet he's not getting paid that much, but he's still getting paid more than he should be for like what he's contributing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's only a 1-year contract as well. So even if he does flop,
he's not going to League 2 Turkey. I don't think.
No, I mean, there's always room for him at Sporting. I'd say, come off the bench, a quick cameo.
You know how like this Porto B signed Vadella and shit for like the B team. And they're trying to sign like Bruno Alves. Yeah, we got to sign him for the B team.
Yeah, I would
exclusive B team captain.
I don't know if there's anything else regarding the accounts that you find interesting or want to take.
No, I think we touched on all of the juicy stuff.
If you wanted to look at that for yourself, by the way, I'll retweet it now. But it's at Depina Pinto has got like a whole list of the photos out there. So do take a look if you're interested and want to just have a read for yourself. If you want some unbiased commentary, feel free. But what part do you want to go on to this? Do you want to go on to
there is one thing I wanted to mention because it kind of ties into this again because like what we just talked about is like sketchy agents kind of the Abdul Fattah Isahaku transfer, bro, is the sussest shit of all time, bro. I literally read the transcript of an interview that his agent gave like a week ago that said he's going to sign for Sporting because there's like rules. His birthday is on March 8th or something. So like there's rules about foreign players signing. See, these rules don't exist within Europe. There's like exceptions. But since he's coming from Ghana, it like doesn't count or whatever. It's not one of the countries that like paid their bribe to FIFA to get this rule changed. So Ghanaian Federation bribe FIFA if you want to get on the exempt list. He can't sign, I guess, until a couple months before he's 18. So they're like he's like January, whatever, like he's gonna sign for Sporting. It's been reported he was gonna sign for Liverpool. They go to Sporting on loan. It was being reported that Sporting signed. So this guy is saying that Sporting is signing him, like, permanent deal. I literally read today that from a Twitter of a verified African football journalist, because this is obviously one of the top prospects in all of Africa, right? He was the top player at the U20 African Cup of Nations. He's 17. You know, he's a massive African prospect. So like he's obviously his move to a European club is being closely followed by journalists in Africa, and they're like, the report is that now the transfer to Sporting is off because the agent was double crossing people and doing all this shady shit. So now the deal has fallen through. So I literally do not know what to believe in regards to what is actually going on with this deal. If he's coming to Sporting in January, if he's coming at all, if he's coming in March, if he's coming next year, I don't fucking know, man. It's so weird. And if he does come, we had to fucking do some shady ass shit to make that shit happen.
I was going to say, because I remember tweeting the story in must have been July or August. And I remember we got someone reply who didn't follow us. Like, I don't know how they saw it and was telling her, oh, he's gone to Liverpool, or I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like he went to Liverpool or he stayed.
Abdul Fatawu Isahaka.
Yeah, that
Johnny.
one. But it's just, it seems shady to me. If you're going to go for all these hoops to try and sign someone, it's off, it's on, he's gone somewhere else, then to me it's just like, just leave it. He might be a good prospect, but at the end of the day, if you're getting all this like other baggage with the transfer, it's just like, is it worth it? It's not going to be like a David Wang? Is it David Wang? Where like he just comes and just disappears. That transfer still baffles. He's not played a single professional game.
He's not real, dude. I don't even know if he's like a fake passport. He's not even like a real person. I'm convinced. Show me a pic of him on Google. Show me a pic of him in 2021. Show me this man. Like, what's he up to? He allegedly went on loan to like a third division team and then never played. I don't know. I think
he's got like 3 professional appearances to his name, and none of them happened at Sporting or Wolves. So
I'll type the name in now, Johnny.
But yeah, Richard comes up with a good point. Still not as weird as Benfica working with an actual witch doctor from Angola a few years back. So, I mean, there has definitely been some shady things happening in Portuguese football, definitely. But this definitely wouldn't be the weirdest one if it were to happen. But who knows? I think without further ado, just want to hit into the Moreirense game.
Yeah, let's get it.
Cool. Let me bring.
One more thing. We got the details of the Gelson deal. Basically, we can recall him from loan in at the end of this season, I guess.
Joelson, you mean?
Joelson, yeah, the young winger.
I thought you said Gelson. I was like, oh,
no. And also, people were saying that Gelson Martinez is linked to Sporting, but I didn't see that anywhere. I think it's fake news.
Yeah, is it one of them like Adrian interviews where he's like, one day I will come back? It's like, no one asked.
No one asked, mate.
Let's get into this game. I'll get the goal point side up to my left. Team of Adan, Coates, Matheus Reis, Nuno Santos, Ignacio Porro, Bragança, Palhinha, Sarabia, Pedro Gonçalves, and Paulinho. Matheus Nunes, Thiago Tomas, Ugarte, and this guy making cameos. 1-0 Sporting. Coates gets the goal. Been on top form, Coates, in terms of goals. You know, got 2 against Besiktas and 1 against Moreirense. Chris, what were your thoughts of the entire game, and who do you think the best or standout player was for you?
So honestly, for me, I had mixed feelings about this game. I honestly, like, my honest opinion is this game sucked. I did not think we were decisive at all. It was another smeller from Paulinho. It's Coates bailing us out. It's them getting a couple chances, and we're kind of fortunate they didn't score, probably more so in the first half. It's just like this performance, it honestly, it would, I guess it would have felt more comfortable maybe if we scored more goals, but like for me, this performance was very unconvincing. I thought that Bragança was great. He was probably the best player out there. Like, I was thrilled that he was starting again. It was a decent pot game as well. He was a bright spot as well. Like, it was good to see him coming back and playing well. And Sarabia played well as well, because he's been in a good run of form as well. So I mean, there was definitely bright spots in this game. but it definitely was sketchier than it needed to be. And when you don't score more than one and these games wind down, it gets sketchy. It's honestly a miracle that the guy with the tattoo on his head didn't score against us. I feel like he always scores against us. He literally almost did. Dunn made a great save in the first half, but yeah, for me, this performance left a lot to be desired. But I am glad that we did get the 3 points in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it. But in terms of the game, I think it was a really bad Paulinho game. Yeah,
he missed like 3 great chances.
One of them was literally just like a 1-on-1, aim it to either side of the keeper, and he put it wide. And it's just like. But I will say Thiago Tomas definitely get the lowest rating on the Sporting side for goal points. So the slander lives on for another day. But,
what did they give him?
A 5.1.
Paulinho should. I guess he did other stuff besides just miss some chances. So
the second lowest after Thiago Tomas was Paulinho, then Nuno Santos. Which I mean, I think Paulinho probably should have been a bit lower than 5.5 to be honest. But I don't do the rating, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really scared or worried about Moreirense scoring. There was that one chance you mentioned, but on top of my head, they didn't really do much with the ball. And I mean, we really didn't either. But like you said, Paulinho had 3-4 chances on his own. And I think a lot of those chances came from Braganza or come from Sarabia, who I think were the 2 main performers in the team, especially in that game. But it's just something we've all been saying for like the last 4 or 5 months is that we need to score. We need to finish. And Paulinho, someone just put in the chat, will start scoring goals soon. Chris, how many times have we heard someone say that? How many times? And it's October. We're 3 months in, and we've had people saying, "Don't worry, it's going to happen. It's going to happen." And like, respect you for thinking that. And
here's the thing: right? It's not like it's one moment because like he has scored, right? He scored in the Champions League. He scored a goal in the league. It's not like we're waiting on him to just score. It's to fucking score and like keep going, dude, and get on a roll and be like a star striker. You know, it's not just he got one every 4 games is not a good enough rate. You know.
Yeah, and like the goals he scored, there have been some bangers. So obviously, there's one against Bajitkas, which was an absolute screamer of a finesse shot, and there was one. I can't remember. It might be. It wasn't against Boavista, but it was against another team where he literally just found it on the volley outside the box and he just went top corner. But like he can score, we can see it. But it seems like he scores more of the difficult ones than he does the sort of tap-ins, which for a striker is just like come on, like just do one or the other. But Kawhi says this game, which seems to be a theme, and definitely was a theme last season as well when we needed a goal. Captain Kawhi came in clutch. Who would you give your man of the match to if you had to pick?
I think it would have to be Braganza. I mean, he obviously had that highlight reel. Do you remember the highlight reel back heel? But like it just felt like he was driving our offense. Paulinho after the yellow felt really conditioned, and you can tell that he wasn't fully going in because he didn't want to get sent off. I think he has 3 already. Yeah. Definitely something to watch. It's going to become a problem, or we could just do what we did last year. Hope that works again, but I think that that card might have expired.
They'll find a way to just like maybe even like in 2 seasons they're just going to be like, oh, by the way, that yellow card you're going to have to serve.
You have to sit a game. That's all it is 1 game.
Yeah.
It technically owes like 1 game, maybe one day.
I think it's coming. He's definitely going to get another suspension this season, whether it's a red or a second yellow or accumulation of yellows. I think it's definitely bound to happen with the amount of games we have this year as well. So, but you gave yours to Braganza, so I'll go opposite. Just give mine to Sarabia. I love Braganza's performance as well, but I think Sarabia was just. I think they were just both really good, and you saw it this game. Both create chances, which something we don't lack. Even when we're choosing Nunes, I think he creates good enough chances. It's again just the finishing that lets us down. But I don't know if you have any more to add on this game.
No, it's just this game is more complicated than it needs to be. I hope that we can be more efficient again because Besiktas was the most efficient game we've ever played. So I hope we can be more efficient in the league and not just win by the the margine minima in every single game, 1 goal, and then just it's just all it takes is one like fast break at the end or whatever, one weird bounce, and you're dropping points, and that's just not where you want to be. We managed to do it last year, right, for a lot of those games, and we were living fucking dangerously. But was that like a once in a lifetime run? I don't know if we can just keep doing that season in and season out, winning every single game by only 1 goal. So yeah, I hope that we can, I guess, do that one of these fucking games in the league.
Yeah, I'm trying to find for the next game, but I don't think goal point do ratings for Tasmania.
Nah. Your best bet's probably to go to 0-0.
Okay.
Nah, they don't do the other competitions. I don't think they do Champions League and Liga B win. I think.
Yeah, they just do. They do the Supercaster as well, which is weird. But let me see if I can find it. Okay. But anyway, I'll get into it anyway. It was 2-1 result, final result, I believe, at the end of the day, against Famalicão, finally breaking the streak that has lasted 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons. We finally beat them, not in the league though, unfortunately. So we still have that on our back. But Chris, it was definitely a rotated team that we saw. Definitely wasn't the best performance either. I think we can both agree. But what were your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I have a lineup here. I can read it out.
Yeah, go.
I got João Virginia, Luis Neto, Gonçalo Inácio, Fedal, Esgaio, Mateus Nunes, Ugarte, Vinagre, Sarabia, Jovan Nunes. Yeah, I mean, for a rotated squad, I actually thought another Jovan stinker. We could just get that out of the way. The lad's in absolute shambles. He hasn't put in a good performance since like August. It's trouble. At one point was rumored for headed to West Ham. Imagine if he's on that West Ham team right now. They're fucking flying.
Yeah, he's being benched.
So yeah, unfortunate. I'm glad to see he got minutes. He got another shot, but he didn't really make the most of it. Ended up subbed off, I believe. Yeah, he got subbed off in the 50th minute. A game that in the end ended up being a lot more complicated than it needed to be. So the keynotes here are more complicated than it needs to be, and shocking officiating / lack of VAR. A couple PK shouts and a offsides goal were allowed. Here's the thing, and I'm just gonna go right into this. Do you think I have a conspiracy theory? Do you think so? The first Famalicão goal was scored. It was pretty late, right? Yeah, it was 90. It was like 89. 80, I thought it was like 88. Okay. Do you think in that time the linesman, because it was the same exact linesman, that allowed that goal, flagged the corner kick? The corner kick goal was so much harder to see than that was. Do you think that in those 4 minutes that he got radio, or 3 minutes, he got radio that said that the goal that you just allowed was offsides? Like if they score another one, like disallow it or something? Because I have a fucking conspiracy there. Because I feel like, how did he see that, dude? It's such a sea of bodies. Like, I didn't even see that in real time. I was just like, fuck. We just fucking conceded. Like, we just fucking blew it.
Right. Sorry, my internet went again. I don't know why this is happening, but I need you to repeat the question.
Okay, yeah. I was just talking about how that I have a conspiracy theory that the ref, between allowing the offsides goal and then disallowing the other offsides goal, that he got radio from upstairs that he had just allowed an offsides goal, so that when Famalicão scored the equalizer, he just put his flag up, even though he didn't know for sure, because he didn't want the result to be tainted by his officiating errors.
Yeah,
respond to that.
I think so. I think you're close. I think there was definitely something going on there because with the naked eye, with mine anyway, I couldn't see it. And the
How
way they
did
saw
he?
it
Yeah,
almost
the corner
instantly,
kick or the second one is so much harder to see, dude. How the fuck did he see that?
maybe the linesman just had a bet on Sporting to win. And just
I
was
know
like,
I'm glad, and in the end, the just result happened. But for the life of me, I don't know how he saw that, and my conspiracy is that he didn't.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense. But what you were saying as well, just the game being so much more complicated than it needed to be. We were cruising 2-0 up, and then sort of just went to shit out of nowhere.
Out of really nowhere, yeah.
I mean, Famalicão always dangerous like that, especially against us. Like you've got to keep. It's not like a team where you can just sort of lay back and they won't do anything because they've got some dangerous attacking options and they've just got a decent team. As much as I hate the team itself, but really glad for Ugarte to get his goal, even though it was deflected. I think it's just a bit of a good confidence for him, especially. I think this might have been his first start for Sporting. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I thought he played well. I thought he played well too. I liked what I saw.
Definitely, I thought he was probably the stand-up performer. Nuno Santos as well getting a goal was needed for his confidence as well. It was just sloppy defending, but I think a good finish nonetheless. Like you said, Jovan, I'm still not a fan of. It's like I'm really not a fan of Paulinho, Tete, or Jovan, which is really bad because if there are three main attacking options for striker, I mean, I think something's just got to change. If it's Sarabia, if it's Tabata, even if like stick Kawatas up front, you probably get better results. But I mean, it's just difficult for.
We saw our first cameo of Sarabia as the 9, so that could be something we'll be seeing in the future if Paulinho keeps sucking.
Yeah, I would like to see Tabata reinstated in some shape or form as well. I think,
Thiago Tomas missed out on a chance to play with his injury. He would have definitely started probably.
Yeah, I think he was. The rumor before, the day before, was that we were going to have a front three of Sarabia, Jovan, and Tete, but didn't end up happening due to Thiago Tomas's injury. But I think Bruno Tabata's been unlucky because he's obviously had the injuries and he's also number 7, which also doesn't help anything because you're just like, oh, straight away it's the curse, it's this, it's that. But I don't know about you, but where would you try and fit the Tabata in? Would you reckon as a false 9 or just keep him on the wings, or what do you think?
I feel like he's the utility man. Should they try to make him a left back? Truthfully, I think he's probably best on the wing, to be honest. But I think that it is it's good to know that he can play in the center if need be. It would be cool if they could try to convert him into a wing back, just to try to see if he could try to fill that left back hole in some situations. But I don't think that is going to happen. Oh no, he's gone out again. Take this opportunity here to update the Twitter by retweeting this. All right, just me here. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen for when he comes back. Share screen.
Hello, sorry.
Welcome back, bro.
Really horrible. I have no idea what's happening. It worked. I was working here in this seat from 2:30 my time to 11. Not a single issue. As soon as I finish work, it does not work.
The shock is not. It's not me for once. I guess. Do you have anything else more on this game here? I mean, I think we covered it. We can do a man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give mine to Ugarte mostly for the goal, but I thought he was just solid the whole game?
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to like you went the last game. I'm gonna go Sarabia. Ugart was good, but I thought Sarabia was good. I thought we got a decent cameo from him up top. So yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see how we line up against the Guimarães. Is he going to roll with Paulinho again? We did, I guess the last thing we touched on, we did get it probably because of the TT injury, an unexpected 20-minute cameo from Paulinho, which resulted in about 6 failed passes, and that was about it. That was his contribution. What did you think of the 20-minute Paulinho cameo?
If Goal Point did the ratings, then I think he probably would have been like a 4. I really don't think he was.
In only 20 minutes, yeah, 4.6.
He's definitely not one to bring off the bench. I think he's not like a Jovan, where if you need a goal, like I'll give Jovan credit, off the bench he's usually pretty good. But someone like Paulinho, I don't think is suited to being off the bench, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's it. Unless you have anything else to cover.
I got the modalidades we can run through.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because we've had a kind of exciting, at least European performance for Sporting in some sports where we're not, we haven't always performed, mainly basketball. So I guess we'll just get into the B team. B team lost 2-1 against Alverca, the same team that beat us in the test with Portugal first round, I think 3 years ago at this point. So we lost again to them. Basketball won for the league, 71-68 against Clube Desportivo Póvoa. That's a pretty close league game for Sporting. Sporting was actually losing a lot of points throughout that game, so they gave us a good battle. A rare good league battle that's not, one of the bigger clubs, so good for them. And then we absolutely battered Greek club Ionikos, set 87-54 for the FIBA Europe Cup. So we are now 2-1 in FIBA Europe Cup and second place in our group. So would be crazy if we could get out of the group. So yeah, hopefully basketball keeps it rolling. They're winning the home games, which is important. So yeah, handball. 42-36 win against Gaia for the league, and then 37-23 win against Tabatanya, which is a Hungarian club, I believe, for EHFEL European League. So we are 2-0 in that as well, top of our group. Probably won't end up finishing in the top of our group, but we'll take it for now. U23. 2 games, 2-1 loss to Benfica and 1-1 tie against Marítimo. Futsal, 4-2 loss against Fundão. Lost our first game of the season. Unfortunate. I think Fundão is usually pretty good. So it's the squad is definitely being stretched thin with all the games they've been playing at the start of the season, because now they have Europe as well. So I can get right into that. They played their first game yesterday and their second game today, and they actually advanced. They're already through with 1 game to spare, which I think is I don't think it's tomorrow, because I don't think they have 3 games in a row. I think it's Saturday. I think they can kind of roll out whatever lineup they want because they're already through. So they beat the ACCS, which is that French team that got relegated, that Ricardinho's on. Ricardinho did not play, but they won 4-3. We were down 3, or it was 2-1 with 10 minutes left, and it finished 4-3 Sporting. So wild game. Merlin popped off, and he popped off again today in our 8-1 win against MFC at Rayu. I don't know what country they're from, unfortunately. Sorry, but we beat them 8-1, spanked them, and we're through. So the Futsal Champions League is always like a competition that we're looking to reach the Final Four of. So we belong in the Final Four of that competition. So it's good to see we're out of the group. I think Benfica's out of the group as well. And then the hockey, 5-4 win against Moreirense and a 6-3 win against HC Turquell. And that is our modalidades for the week. I didn't do volleyball. I think men and women won. I think 3-0, both of them. But if there's a sport that I'm consistently not covering that you want me to cover, comment or message me and I will start covering it, because I think I'm covering the big ones, the B team, U23, handball, basketball. There was no ladies game. So if there's like a women's sport you want me to cover, let me know, and I'll be happy to. But I'm all good on my end here.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that as always. Before we leave, we'll just do the 2 predictions. We've got 2 games next week. Well, technically 1 this week, 1 next week. So you said already Moreirense this week, and then next week we have Besiktas at home. Give me your 2 predictions for the game and your scores.
Vitória de Guimarães. We both had midweek games. They're coming off of a crazy game against Benfica. I think I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with a win by the marge minima, obviously. So 2-1. And then for Besiktas, 2-0.
I'm going to go for 3-0 against Guimarães. I think, like you said, they come off a really big game against Benfica, and it was very, very difficult for them. And I think we'll come off the back and just sort of beat the shit out of them, hopefully. But and then Besiktas, I think that's going to be a much difficult game. They pretty much need to win if they need to get anything, and that includes like 3rd place. So I think it's definitely going to be a tough game. But I'm going to go 1-0 Sporting, and hopefully Paulinho continues his Champions League streak of scoring. I know he's like what the 10th best player in like the ratings or something like that.
Yeah, by all the stats accumulated, he's one of the top players in the competition. So let's hope he keeps it rolling.
Yeah, and we could probably sell it for a big fee in next summer for like, I don't know, 40
Only look at his stats in these 6 games.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover, or that's about it.
I think that is about it. Yeah, for me. I don't think I have any other bonus topics. Yeah, I think we tackled everything.
Cool.
No major wars, no major controversies in the past couple days, at least. I'm sure there'll be one soon, but for the next pod. But for now, I think we're clear.
We just got one thing that I could just remember. This Porro tweeted a very cryptic tweet of
Porro broke up with his girlfriend. Also, it appears they've deleted all their images together, both of them. So I think that means they broke up.
I'm not gonna lie, she was punching. She was definitely punching in that relationship.
I'm guessing they've just known each other for a long time.
Yeah,
but she was living in Portugal, right? So she just bounced. Like, is she in Spain now? Who knows? The soap opera. So, like, is his cryptic tweet in regards to that? I don't know.
Everyone thinks it's either due to that or due to a permanent deal, which I would love to see. But I don't know.
Why would that be announced in October, though? Or November, for that matter.
Just because of sporting and don't do things by the rules. Our accounts are supposed to be released in the summer, and they're released in October. So
yeah, true. That is true.
But we will keep everyone up to date on that situation. Again, if you do want to follow any of us on Twitter, that is Chris's Twitter handle below him. That is mine as well. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We shall be back probably next week. I'm not going to give you an exact date, but
it'll be probably after the Besiktas game. Is the Besiktas game a Tuesday or Wednesday? Do you know off the top of your head?
Wednesday.
Okay, so maybe Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, and it's the late.
We're kind of on a Thursday roll the past couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, so we'll probably see you Thursday. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Please follow us on Twitter, Spotify, Instagram, Soundcloud. Pretty much have all social medias, so just give us a follow on there. And thank you all for watching. Peace.